All right, everyone. It's been a while since I updated everybody on my electrical status of the Tacoma, and I've done quite a few things. So I'm kind of going to go ahead and start with an overview. First of all, the Tacoma for me is mainly used for going to the beach. So I did want to put a lift on it, put a little bit of protection underneath, but also wanted to make it good for me. And I don't know if anybody drives on the beach and camps on the beach, but that's what we do. So I needed some electrical upgrades. The first thing I did was, of course, fused and circuit breakers on everything. I have a switch pod thing in here. This is one of the cheap Amazon 6-position ones, but everything runs off the battery. It's grounded right here. Goes to the fuse block right there. This one right here also goes to my DC to DC charger in the back from Renogy. I'll show you that here in a little bit. And of course, everything, you've got to have circuit breakers on it. One of the main wires coming off this as well goes right here to the front. And right here next to the fog light, I have added, yes, a cigarette lighter port. Why? Well, sometimes I want to put my refrigerator there. That one runs off the truck, so the truck would have to be running to use that. But also, sometimes I do want to pump up my paddle boards. So that is mainly going to be used for my paddleboard pumps while the truck is running. I do have other ones that run off the lithium batteries, so I don't have to worry about the truck being running. Under here, it's pretty much stock underneath the hood. I did upgrade it to a K&N air filter. And of course, the red line tuning hood struts. If you haven't done these, go ahead and do those quickly. They make a huge difference. But there's another look at the fuse panel. As we come around to this side, let's open up the door here. Some of the stuff on the inside for the electrical. Of course, I have the bullet point mounting solutions rack. You can see here, that's the switch panel. A couple of those still need to be wired up to something, but of course I have my rear reverse lights, my light bars, and my ditch lights. I do have 2 light bars. I have the one in the grill, and then I have the one on the top on the Prinsu rack. I have an iPhone, so I keep the MagSafe mount there. Right now I've got one of the Baofeng radios right here for GMRS. I am looking into getting a mobile one. If anybody has any recommendations, please let me know. I'm thinking about mounting that one when I get it down here to this Molly panel that I've installed. All right, of course I did also for the electrical, I took out the factory cigarette lighter and I installed a 12-volt USB. And it's got 2 USBs down there and a voltmeter in the middle, so I can turn that on and off. Most of that stuff was bought through Amazon. All right, now coming around to the back, I've got this USB and this USB here, along with the one in the very front. They're both run off the truck power. So when the truck is off, they are off. Now here's where things start to differ. I needed power when I'm sitting at the beach. Okay, so when I'm sitting at the beach, obviously I don't want the truck to be running the whole time. Plus I keep a refrigerator in the back of my truck running full time. So up on my Prinsu rack, you see a 100-watt solar panel right there. Actually, it looks a little dirty, so I need to get up here and clean it. I love this thing. It charges both of my batteries, my Lithium 50 AH battery, as well as my starter battery. And there's that reverse light that I was telling you about on the back. I'll show you a better angle of that later. And there's the light bar in the front, one of them. Ugh. All right, but here behind my seat, I added these little tabs as well because, it makes it a lot easier. It's kind of dirty in here, sorry about that. Some sand. Of course, I've got a lock box for, things that you don't want access to. All right, behind the seat, what do we have back here? We have a 50 AH lithium battery. Of course, it's run to a Victron 500 amp shunt. That allows me to monitor everything via Bluetooth. I also have the Renogy 50 amp DC to DC charger. So the wire running from the battery comes up to here and goes into this, and then this charges this off of here, and then of course the solar comes into here. Like you can see right now that I'm getting power from my solar panels. And yes, I said panels, I'll show you here in a minute. This is my battery here. It shows that it is charging, and the blue means it's a lithium. And you see the alternator is off because the alternator, of course, is not running. I did have to take out the plastic piece that was here to be able to fit that battery and this charger. The battery actually fit in the cubby, but the charger did not. Previously, I had an all Victron system. I did upgrade to this. The main reason is it's one unit and it charges both batteries. So once my once my solar panels have topped off this lithium battery here, it then starts to top off the starter battery, which is nice. The way I had it wired previously, no, it only charged up my other battery. And I didn't have this before. I had a lead acid battery that I was using. This is actually the second one of these batteries I got. The first one, it was only a 38 AH, or was it 38, 39 AH? It didn't come to a full 50. This one, once I did the testing on it and ran some power through it, it was testing out at 51 AH, so way better. Of course, back here, I installed a 12-volt port, as long as some more USB. These run off the battery, okay? This battery back here, the lithium and the solar system, so these are always on. I do use this one to pump up the paddle boards. You can use this one to charge phones when we're at the beach or anything else. They're both 2.1 amps. And this right here, my paddleboard pump, it pulls about 100 watts. So it pulls a little bit of power. So I put some little bit thicker wire going to these down here. I do have another circuit breaker below there. You can kind of see it tucked behind right there. And then up top up here, I have the Renogy BT2. This allows me to have Bluetooth going directly to this. So when I'm not using, any settings or anything like that I need to change on this, I do it via Bluetooth, via that up there. The range on it's pretty good. The range on this, not so much. Like, I gotta be fairly close to the truck. Of course, if I'm inside the truck, it works perfect. It may have something to do with this big panel back here. I may move that. I want it to be as close to the battery as possible, so that's why it is here. And you see the extra wires, that's because it monitors both batteries. It monitors this battery, and then it also monitors the starting battery in the very front. Okay. One extra thing that I did was, along with the solar panel up on the roof, was I added an extra Anderson connector here. And this Anderson connector I mainly got for when we're going to the beach, and of course it's wired directly to that, so that I can throw one of these bad boys out. Portable solar panels, I have 3. I have 2 that are this size. This is 120 watts, and then I also have a 300 watt, and you can see the cable on it's pretty far. So if I'm camping or if I'm at the beach, I usually just, fold it up here, up on this side and this, and I park directly where the sun comes from the beach like this, so it hits it right here. Generate a pretty decent amount of power. Today is it's kind of an overcast day. You can kind of see it here. I'm in Virginia Beach. But with the 100 watt panel on the top and this 120 watt panel here, I'm probably only making about 80 watts right now. The last time I checked before I started this video. So it doesn't always make the 220 that it claims or anything like that, but it puts out a lot of power. Now, before I had this, I just had the Victron solar, so everything was run off solar and everything ran fine. I would drain my battery sometimes, and sometimes it would, go fairly low. However, with this, as soon as I start the car up, this puts an additional 25 amps to this battery. It charges this battery so quick, it's not even funny. So just a short trip, and my battery's completely topped off. If it's at nighttime and my solar panels aren't pulling any power, it puts a full 50 amps directly to that battery, which is the max that battery will take. And it fully charges that battery like this. So that's amazing. So no matter where I go, I'm gonna show up with a full battery. Unlike before with the solar, sometimes I'd show up full, sometimes it's a little bit low. So I was plugging it in at night before I would leave on some of my trips. All right, now I'm gonna walk to the back and show you what I've done to the back. Of course, there's the custom logos that I had made for the truck. In the back, of of course, this is one of the main reasons for adding all this extra power, is because I have a refrigerator, and I do keep it on all the time and keep it stocked most of the time. I used to, in the back, I kept an extra lead acid battery in the back, in the top, and back here in a box. The box is actually right there. That's next to my other refrigerator. But I got rid of that box that had this lead acid battery in it that weighed like 100 pounds. Now that other one, it only weighs 11, so it's super light and it holds just about the same amount of power. But I had to get power back here. So what I did was, from the DC to DC charger there, I have run another cigarette lighter port here and another USB port here with a voltmeter as well. Although now that I've switched to lithium, the voltmeter is less needed, I should say. I mainly use my Bluetooth, but it's nice. Like, you can hear the refrigerator's on right now. So it's pulling probably about 55 watts from the system, but I plug it in right there. I do have plans to add another cigarette lighter plug back here, and possibly running an inverter of some type off the battery so I can get more power back here. You can see I do have the mountain hatch back here. Keys are there. But yeah, that's my system in a nutshell for the electric. When we go to the beach, the refrigerator is running full time. I do have another refrigerator that I plan on running. One is a refrigerator and one is a freezer, because they do both. Keep, you know, my food in one and my drinks in the other, kind of deal. That's why I need to add the other port back here. But other than that, I think I'm set up for most everything I need now, electrical wise. You know, I can pump my pumps, my sup pumps from here for the sups, which is the stand-up paddle boards. And of course, you know, we charge our phones and speakers and everything else we have back here. Right now we're just using a little portable Bluetooth speaker that I bring everywhere, but I do have plans on wiring some kind of sound system up back here for the beach. I do have CBI bed racks. I don't keep them on at the same time as the tent because I can't. Because of the, the tonneau cover, not the tent. Because the tonneau cover and the CBI bed racks don't work together. But I am in the works of getting something done for that, or at least trying to figure something out for that. Of course, I've upgraded all LED tail lights. The truck came with factory LED headlights and fog lights. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's my system, guys. If you have any questions, it runs great even without driving the truck. I haven't driven this truck in probably 4 days now. I've been driving some of my other cars, and I haven't had to charge the battery. I think the battery was at 80% when I left this morning. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I do have some more things that I'd like to do in the future, but only when it becomes necessary and I have a need. I've thought about adding an additional battery up front, or increasing the size of the factory battery. This is a 2022, so my battery is fairly new, obviously, but I'm going to upgrade this Group 24 and put something a little bit bigger in there. Alright guys, if you have any other questions or anything, just let me know. Again, this is another Woo Taco video. If you have any questions about my suspension or anything like that, just let me know. Bye.